Brush, floss, stay away from the candy aisle. But what if I told you the biggest threat to your pearly whites isn't actually in your kitchen, but in your bedroom? What if the real secret to stopping cavities has way less to do with your toothbrush and a whole lot more to do with your pillow?
Now that's not a trick question. That's a genuine discovery from some incredible new science. And trust me, it's about to change everything you thought you knew about taking care of your teeth.
Welcome to Sleepia, a corner of the internet dedicated to the science of sleep and circadian rhythms. Today, we're diving deep into this brand new and honestly mind-blowing connection between the quality of your sleep and the health of your entire mouth.
You see, for pretty much forever, medicine has treated our minds and our mouths like they were on different planets. Got a cavity? Go see the dentist. Can't sleep? That's a job for a sleep specialist. But it turns out there's a biological bridge that connects them, a direct hotline between your brain and your gums. And this is the game changer right here. On the left, that's the old way of thinking, two totally separate issues. But on the right, that's the new reality. We now know that how we sleep sends direct messages to our mouth, for better or for worse. So how on earth does this invisible bridge actually work?
Well, the first piece of the puzzle is all about the unsung hero of your mouth, your saliva. And no, it's not just water. It's this amazing mineral-packed liquid that's constantly working to protect and rebuild your teeth. And guess what controls it? Your body's own internal master clock. And what's so cool is that this all happens at the genetic level. Tucked inside your cells are these things called clock genes, with names like BMAL1 and PER2. You can just think of them as little automatic light switches. Their whole job is to tell your salivary glands when to turn on the flow and when to turn it off.
When you're getting good, consistent sleep, the whole system is just beautiful. It runs like clockwork, literally. Your clock genes are all in sync, which means this special protein called AQ5, think of it like tiny water gates on your cells, opens up perfectly, letting all that protective saliva flow exactly when it's needed most. But here's where it all goes wrong. When your sleep is all over the place, or you're staying up way too late, you throw your internal clock into total chaos. Those clock genes, BMAL1 and PER2, get completely out of sync, and the result? Those cellular water gates, they get jammed shut. Your mouth's natural defense system just goes dark. And this right here is the domino effect. It kicks off with chronic dry mouth, what doctors call xerostomia. Without that saliva flow, food gets stuck. Nasty plaque acids run wild, and your tooth enamel literally starts to dissolve, all because your sleep schedule was off. A dry mouth is one thing. That's bad enough. But a lack of sleep does something else, something way sneakier. It basically rolls out a 24/7 all-you-can-eat midnight buffet for the absolute worst bacteria living in your mouth. To get this, you have to understand that your body sees sleep deprivation as a serious threat. It's an ancient survival thing. Your brain basically thinks, hey, we're awake, we must be in danger, and it flips the switch into full-on fight or flight mode.
This emergency response floods your system with a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol's job is to give you a jolt of energy by pumping glucose, yep, that's sugar, into your bloodstream. But here's the crazy part. That extra sugar doesn't just stay in your blood. It actually leaks right into your saliva, turning your whole mouth into a sugary swamp, even if you haven't eaten a thing.
Now, when you're well rested, your mouth is like this beautiful, balanced ecosystem. It's home to a super diverse community of bacteria. See all those different colors? That means lots of different species are all living together and keeping each other in check. In nature, that kind of diversity is the #1 sign of health.
But now, look what happens to a sleep-deprived mouth.
That sugary saliva we were just talking about, it's like rocket fuel for the bad, cavity-causing bacteria. They go on a feeding frenzy, they multiply like crazy, and they completely take over. That beautiful diversity is just gone, replaced by one big, dominant, and really destructive type of bacteria.
And the damage doesn't even stop with your teeth. Oh no. Next on the hit list are your gums. We always think bleeding gums just means we need to floss a bit more, but often it's a huge warning sign that your entire immune system is exhausted and starting to freak out.
See, when you're not getting enough sleep, your body is swimming in these pro-inflammatory signals called cytokines. You can think of them like tiny little alarm bells that are just ringing off the hook, screaming, attack, 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 all throughout your body. It puts your immune system on a hair trigger.
So, remember those bad bacteria having that sugar party? Well, one of the main troublemakers is this guy right here, Porphyromonas gingivalis. And when your overtired, jumpy immune system senses this bug anywhere near your gums, it just completely overreacts. It sends in way too many troops, causing all that swelling, redness, and bleeding we call gingivitis. And this brings us to the most shocking part of the whole story. Because this is not a one-way street. We know poor sleep can wreck your mouth, but it turns out an unhealthy mouth can actually reach back and destroy your sleep. It creates this awful, vicious cycle that just feeds on itself.
Let's just walk through it real quick. So step 1, we've got this down. Not enough sleep leads to a dry mouth, a sugary mouth, and eventually, inflamed gums.
Step 2, those inflammatory cytokines from your angry gums, they don't just stay put. They hop into your bloodstream, travel all the way up, and cross the super secure blood-brain barrier, sending those frantic alarm signals directly into your brain.
And this, right here, is the killer move. When your brain gets those inflammatory signals, it literally stops you from getting into deep, slow-wave sleep. And that's the most important stage. That's the physically restorative sleep your body desperately needs to heal and repair itself.
And there it is. That closes the loop. The inflammation from your gums is preventing you from getting the very deep sleep you need to calm that inflammation down. You're literally trapped in a downward spiral of being exhausted and having constant dental problems.
I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? Of course, brushing and flossing are important, but they're basically just damage control. If you're not fixing the root cause, your sleep, you are always going to be fighting an uphill battle. Getting consistent, quality sleep isn't a luxury. It's the absolute foundation of your oral health.